gonna say the same about you. I'm assuming they didn't.
Forks and torches, and one of them was Frankenstein. You know it's bad when Frankenstein's chasing.
Oh my god.
You know they're mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing when the mob's chasing Frankenstein, but it's another thing when Frankenstein is in the mob chasing you. Right. And then you realize that it was the mob. You know what I'm saying?
How do you make
it's
that
not
work?
a normal mob. This is the mob.
The mob.
But it's a mob of the mob with Frankenstein. So it's like, you're not okay. The fact that I'm alive right now is actually a miracle.
It's a bloody miracle, dude.
Well, it was pretty bloody.
Oh my god. But you're here, and you made it.
Well,
Respect, dude.
I'm here, you're there. But for me, I'm there and you're here. No, wait. I'm here, you're there.
Cut. You're there, I'm here. Yeah. I'm my own producer. I gotta go shut off this fan. But
fucking producers.
You tell me a little bit about yourself and you know, your name and.
Oh, for sure, it's a mystery.
Don't worry. Yeah.
Wouldn't be the mystery
that part's
musician
coming
though,
up.
if I did that.
Cut. Oh shit. You know, it's gonna make for spice.
I think I like the fan blaring in the background better. I like that sound.
Yeah,
Every time I make music, I always add the fan angle over top of everything. But then I use a program to remove the noise in the background.
I didn't want to tell them that part.
Yeah, you know, you got like this. You got the noise remover. You get the room sound, but then you remove it after, so it sounds clean. It's like the fan wasn't there.
Yeah. So.
It's like. It's fine for me because I'm the one recording it, but the guy who mixes it hates me.
Yeah, he hates you, dude.
Yeah, he has to remove the fan that I purposely put right into the microphone of the snare.
This is that guy.
That's me. I put that fan there. It's fantastic. It's all a part of my fantasy.
I wouldn't have it any other way, dude.
So you're a fan of that?
Big fan.
Oh, fuck yeah. No, that's a normal size fan. The one I had is this industrial size. It's pretty awful. You could literally put it on the back of a boat and like it would propel it.
Really?
Yeah, the producer like hates me because like he comes to turn it off, but I point it at him and pushes him backwards. I make him wear roller skates when he comes just to make it worse for him.
Yeah.
It's an extra like $2,000 for me to wear roller skates before he records me, but like, you know.
He's like, don't make me work with that mystery of the North. Mystery musician of the North. Yeah. I can't be working with that guy.
He always ranks up really close to the stairs too, so it gets pretty sketchy. Like stairs aren't too scary until there's a fan that you can't control and you're rolling backwards and there's no handrails. But don't worry, I have it in the contract.
You better. I've never noticed that in my contract for shooting.
You gotta have the limited liability when you work with me because I want to make sure I don't get sued for what I did to you.
I am so happy.
There's lots of liabilities when you work with me because I am a huge liability.
I am so happy that I've survived every show I've shot for you.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you did not get shot at my show because the government won't let me have a gun. But if they did,
it
would be a really good show.
Dude, that's the show I'm waiting for. When you kick it off with an actual gunshot.
Shoots a 44 mag into the ceiling. It's like, oh, it's a totally banned weapon in Canada, but it's okay. The ceiling doesn't care. It's still the ceiling still took it. Hopefully no one was upstairs. I did not check. There's a reason why I'm not allowed a gun license. I've tried 17 times. Driver's license they let me have though.
Oh.
Yeah, I got that when I was young before they realized.
You drove your ass here.
Allegedly.
I think it was teleportation, but you know.
Yeah, it's like Rick and Morty with like the teleport gun there, but like it doesn't work. You know what I mean? I got ripped off so fucking bad, man. I spent like $4,000 in this shit, and he's like, "No, this guy got it from Toys R Us." Turns out I was just lit.
Dude, cheers to that, bro.
I could have invested that. And over 60 years, it would have, at 10% interest, I would have been rich. But no, I got a broken teleportation gun. That does not work.
And a guitar.
I traded that for x-ray glasses.
Oh, Jesus.
And guess what? They worked, but now I have a court date.
That's brilliant, dude. That's brilliant.
It was great until the police showed up.
Like, yeah, you're gonna have to take that off.
Yeah.
And
The
come
thing
with
that gave it
us.
away is the fact that it said X-ray on them, so I gotta scratch that out. There, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I thought you would have had it Ray-Ban, and then they would have known.
Well, I got Ray-Ban from the Ray-Ban store after. Not allowed to wear aviators anymore, according to the court order. So I bought some Louis Vuittons that look like aviators, but they're not. But they got checkerboards. It's the only reason I bought them. They have checkerboards. You know what I mean? Name another pair of glasses with checkerboards. Yeah, they're just like aviators, but more expensive, but slightly bigger with a checkerboard.
Vans.
Vans? Do they have checkerboard
Checkerboard,
sunglasses?
That's like, well, I would
They have
assume.
checkerboard sunglasses that were cheaper than Louis Vuitton. I would have bought those instead, but man, I fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Vans would have been like probably like $100, $150. Louis Vuittons, don't even ask.
Yeah. Okay. You definitely fucked
It was
up.
like
then.
my freedom present for me. But then they kind of broke a bit, and then I returned them and got replaced. But then they broke a bit again. But they still look. It's not noticeable.
Jesus Christ.
It's not noticeable.
Dude.
It's like this little tiny little pin on there that like the glass like kind of shattered. When you really look at there, it's like, oh shit. Yeah, that's definitely a bad design. I hate to say it, but like, yeah. Everything else about them feels great, but that one little thing is like, it's just like a little pin that breaks the glass.
That's so funny, dude. Oh
Two for
my
two,
God.
so you know, it's yeah.
Well, I hate to be that guy, but you fucked up. Vans definitely has
But
that. For
I look cool
sunglasses.
though, and I feel good wearing them.
There
Because it says LV on them, and I know I overpaid for them. I mean, yeah, it's only
Cry tear.
designer thing I have that's worth more than $100.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm
Cowboy?
not always that bad with my money, unless it comes to guitar gear.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like
We are.
I did not impulsively buy a fucking stack of guitar amps the other day. It's okay. It was only the exact same amp that I already have. No, here's the thing. So I had the multi-watt dual rectifier.
Yeah.
This was the non-multi-watt dual rectifier. But it came with the cabinet.
I figured you were like,
I
there's
mostly wanted the
something.
cabinet.
There's something.
It's a straight 412 cab. And it's oversized. I was trying to find that, and the guy was like $1,500 for the head and cab. I'm like, well, I was gonna pay $1,000 for the cab. Might as well just get the head. But now I got two. But it's okay. It sounds slightly different. You gotta think about those tone ones.
It's where. Oh my God.
It's got different plywood inside of the head.
I love that. That can be a selling feature for anything. Like, oh, this is basically the same, but
But
your
different.
tone will be like slightly enhanced.
Like I saw this
Ever so
meme. It was like Slash with all his like freaking gear going through like all these pedals and his different stacks.
Yeah.
Like you can hear my quilted maple top.
You
Like, yeah,
shared
you can
that,
hear that
dude.
through your 17 fucking pedals and your 4 Marshalls and crank to 10 on the top
goodness. Was it you that sent me that meme of Slash in the field and it's like ding ding, ding and it's like
hat. Oh, with the November rain, or they took away all the sounds. Like just like you hear like the panning of the helicopter flying by and the helicopter wings, and just like hear the air like doing 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 doing. Yeah, you know he didn't plug that in, right?
yeah.
That's probably more than what it sounded like. You probably you couldn't even hear the guitar, but they added just to make it funny.
Oh my God.
What would we do without memes? Like imagine when we were younger before YouTube.
Yeah.
Remember? What
Yeah.
did we laugh at before that? It was like Mini Clip and Club Penguin.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, yes. You know what?
SpongeBob.
We had SpongeBob before the memes.
Yeah.
And now we're old, and that's all we see.
Shout out to SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, I felt kind of savage. I saw one of those things. It's like, name an artist that... It was like a picture of Squidward or whatever. It was like, it had something about like, name an artist that is like underappreciated that you don't like. And I commented, well, Squidward. Because... Yeah, he does a lot of art and he makes a lot of music, but it's not good. It's like
Nobody likes it, but like
it's like
you
me
know.
with the recorder when I like blew as hard as I could into it just to make it like annoy the teacher. That's Squidward, but he actually tries.
Do you remember hot cross buns? Hot cross buns.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Do.
I remember them trying to like grill that in my head, me being like a dumb little kid, being like grade 4, being like, how do you read music notes? And now I look at music notes, I'm like, where's the tabs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't actually like had to actually properly read music notes until I did piano lessons. Then I left piano lessons, so I had to read music notes. And I took drum lessons, and like those are really easy to read. The snare is where C was.
Yeah, there you go.
And
there you go.
you know the stuff above it was supposed to be cymbals or the higher tom. And you got the lower toms you go lower and the kick you go low. So it's like pretty easy to read.
Yeah.
But when you get into freaking like guitar, it's like, oh, here's some algebra. And then we got
Good luck,
flat
motherfucker.
algebra and sharp algebra. It's like math but sharp.
Yeah.
But it's also blunt.
What are you tuned in?
My tuning for guitar? So everyone I jam with as a bassist hates me because I always make them tune down a half step when they play with me.
Shit.
Yeah.
Of course. But it sounds so good live.
Yeah. But I think Jake got smart because he tuned down the half step, then he also just did the drop C sharp there. And instead of tuning it back up to the half step for the normal songs, he just left drop C sharp and just learned the songs.
Right.
Because when he learned stuff that I sent him, he's going off of the sound. I said, well, the lowest song is drop C sharp, so just retune that, and went with that. But me, I'm like, here, I'm switching my bass into different tunes. Like, no, you could just play it the same note, just play it higher fret.
Yeah.
Or on a different string. It's like, yeah. It's just interesting seeing how people play stuff different. Like, playing with Fire, I play, like, the high E, like, halfway up the fret. But he's playing, like, at the lower frets.
Yeah.
Same note, different spot.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just interesting seeing stuff through someone else's mind.
Totally.
Yes.
And I mean, you've worked with so many musicians already that you're like, you get to
Yeah, none of them like
experience
staying.
I didn't want to mention that part. That was you.
It's hard to find someone to play your own music that likes it enough to like keep it close enough as it was. Like Jake was definitely one of the best because he took my music very seriously and he actually like learned stuff where he kept like the true like meaning of it, like the true feeling of it. But I'm like, you're going a little bit too hard. Like still add what you want in there and like make it your own. But like it's like playing live with him is like it actually sounds like it right. Because like the problem I'd have is like be doing like a guitar solo or whatever. Like you know how like the modes work, you like have like the Phrygian and you get different like vibes out of it there. So like doing a guitar solo in like Dorian, but they're playing in like Aeolian or whatever. Like they're just playing
Right.
in the box. Like they don't understand the theory behind it. It's like no, you guys stick to these root notes. I don't care what you play in between, but you guys stick to these root notes so that I have that same feeling there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you have the same chord progression and play whatever in between it there and add some flair to it. Once you change the chord progression, it changes the feel. Where when I'm soloing, I kind of like lose that feel and it's like, something does not feel right. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I see what you're putting down. I'm a
Yeah.
drummer, but I'm picking it up.
Yeah. Instead of boom boom, it's bong bong.
Ooh.
Bouncy tits and bouncy
Gotcha,
tits.
yeah.
It's booms and tinkum,
Boots
booms
and
and
cats
tink.
and boots and cats. That's what.
Yeah. It's basically like instead of going from like that Egyptian kind of feel, you go for more of a dreamy kind of feel, but you try to do the dreamy feel, but they're making it sound Egyptian.
Dude.
So it's that's where it kind of messes with you. He's like, I know how the song goes. I made this, but the best one I had, I had someone tell me my songs are out of key.
Oh.
When he was playing on the records, like out of key on the records. I'm like, it kind of like, did I mess up? So this guy, he was like playing like Rush cover bands. So he was like, he's been playing longer than I am. Okay, I'm like, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out, but no, it turns out the box he's playing in was, I don't know.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So basically, we're like standing. I pulled out like it was like for rain. So basically, he was supposed to just go like dun 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 to keep it in that kind of like Dorian kind of vibe or whatever. But then like whatever he was doing, it just sounded completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But then he didn't understand it because he was playing in his box, which is whatever he was like. I don't know what it meant for him. It probably like made sense to him. But it's like when I had like the chord chart in front of him, he was like kind of looking at it like. It's like I'll never forget this. He's like looking at this thing. I'm like, so this is the guitar scale. Here's like the whole thing. Ignore the top two strings because you're on bass. You only need the four strings. And I'm like, okay. So this is the box that you want to play in. And it's a different box than you used to. He's like looking at it like that, like that, like super close, like that. You know what I'm saying? I freaking like legit. This guy.
Love it.
He's like, look at that. And he just like looks at his amp, walks up to his amp, turns it on. He's like, I'm leaving. I'm like, what? He's like, is there something I said? I'm like, you guys are just on another universe. I'm like, what's that even mean? Like, it's just like, what? So it's like, I don't understand why people don't like get my music because it's like it's very abstract. I understand that, but like I don't get it. It's just hard to find people that like understand it and kind of vibe with it, but also like stay in the same realm while
Right.
still making it like still give them the freedom to be themselves in it, but they still have to like understand like it's like got to be playing the same song.
Right.
But like for him, the box that he's been playing in for the last like 40 years, like it could have been like minor, major, whatever it was. That's where he's kind of like, I've seen him play live many times, and like, he's like improvising. He's in the box. It sounds really good.
Yeah.
When it comes to my stuff, where it's like you're playing stuff, and all of a sudden there's like it'll move up a half a step and change the key a little bit for no reason.
Yeah.
Like I don't mean to do that stuff. It just happens. It's how I play. I'm just very like all over the place. I'll change times and stuff, but like people aren't used to that, so like mess with them. And it's just like it's hard to find people that can like deal with that. Like the crazy experience I ever had. Like this is like the best bassist I ever met was when I went down to LA there. I told you I went to meet Mr. Bjorn Englund.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy's like he's toured with like
Quiet Riot. I was just saying.
yeah.
Legend,
So he's
right?
toured with he toured with Quiet Riot for I think like 20 shows. This before I was even born, like in the 90s. And then he toured with Yingwei Mountain's team for like 5 years or something like that. But the crazy thing, so like we're in like LA in some like studio or whatever, just jamming out. I'm playing these songs he's never heard before. Maybe he like looked at it on like my website or whatever before, like get an idea. But like it's all new to him. It's not like it's playing on the radio. No one knows the heck that shit is. You know? But he's like playing through, and by the time I got to the second verse, he's already got the song down, and he's playing in key. And it sounds like it belongs with the song, which is really insane because if someone were to come to me with music like mine and I'm playing guitar and he would like do that, it'd probably mess with me, you know what I mean? Like my music's insane.
Yeah.
But Bjorn's just freaking playing this stuff like there's no tomorrow. He's just like just chilling, just messing around. He's in key, it sounds perfectly fine. I'm like, that is absolutely insane.
This guy's way too freaking good.
Yeah. Well, he's been playing bass like 30 years more than I've been alive, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
like, he's one of the most successful session musicians out there. Is like lives and dies by the bass. Like he told me, like apparently, like he told me that Mr. Yingwei, he was like throws like 10 songs, like you know Yingwei's songs, like 10,000 notes, shredders stuff, like neoclassical, Vivaldi, Four Seasons, every song, like that level of musicianship. So he's like, here's 10 songs, but we're only play 4 of them there, and we'll pick random stuff there, and he'll like throw it like 3 days before the show, and he's like playing live. The fact that you can learn that and then play a full like Yingwei level show shows his musicianship. Like, that's like some next level. Like this guy should be playing like stadiums, headlining that shit every night. Level good, like.
Yeah. Shout out.
It's crazy that people can play on that level that quick and pick it up. Well, here I am, freaking tabbing stuff out in Guitar Pro and trying to figure out my own music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair. But you know what? I appreciate it because you know what? Like, you hear it on Spotify. Yeah, you know, it's something to hear on Spotify. But I've always been fascinated by your sound live. I'm just like, whoa, it's such an experience. So. I appreciate it. I appreciate the talent.
It's always a different vibe live, yeah. I always play it slightly faster.
yeah. Well, I mean, with all that gear will come along with time, too.
Yeah,
and money
we don't
and
use a
all
click
that.
track, so we just kind of like YOLO it when we play live there. And like half the time, like improvising stuff on top of it or whatever.
Yeah.
And they kind of like just playing around there, but live's a whole different vibe there. Like Jimi Hendrix back in the day, like he'd like go in the studio just fucked up on acid there, drop a whole album there, fucking forget how to play it, and go do it live and make it up again.
Yeah. But always sounded good.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
But you know what? Your name, it's online everywhere, and you still go as Mystery Musician of the North. Why is that?
So I'm a man of many mysteries. Obviously I can't say what all the mysteries are. It's a mystery. But I'll give you a little bit of a clue into a bit of my history that is a mystery. So here's the thing. Yeah, my name's Dustin Lee Madden, but if you look into history, I can't say exactly where. But let's just say that if a certain family member was not beheaded.
Ooh.
Yes. Beheaded, like guillotine.
Yeah.
Lots of people were mad. To the point where my family had to change their name. And leave a certain country that's unnamed and go to another country.
Interesting.
Changing the name once or twice. Kind of lose track.
Well,
let's just say if a certain person wasn't beheaded, I would probably be sitting in a castle right now.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa.
But
holy shit.
there's nothing I can do about that. Because if they figured out
Yeah.
The bloodline. That is the mystery.
That is so fucking funny.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I still think there's still potential for you to get to that castle, you know? It's just
I want to have a castle one day. I wrote
Yeah.
a song about the castle made a sound.
Yeah.
Where the castle got destroyed, which is pretty much exactly what happened to him. So if you look into that, that's kind of where that came from there.
Yeah.
And then there's a song that came after, While My Empire Falls. That kind of follows that.
Right.
And then now, recently, I've been working on some new stuff. And I'm going to have a song called Castle in the Sky.
Ooh.
Where it's about rebuilding that castle, but it's in the sky, so you can't bring it down.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yes,
That's
you
cool.
can't behead me if I'm in the sky, unless you have a fighter jet. Fucking
paying
Joe
attention?
Biden coming in here with Obama on the other side there, fucking. Yeah, I ain't got a chance against that. Yeah.
Drone
I
strike.
might have a
on
magic castle, but they got freaking like AC-40s and freaking nukes.
you. Spot you out. There he is.
The thing about nuclear weapons,
This
they
is
go
the
into
second
space
coming.
first and then they come down. The sad thing is I'm up there in between land and space, so it's like a perfect spot for them to hit me and not cause the people on the ground to get fucked up.
They were thinking far ahead.
Yes, I think that's maybe why they say a castle in the air is a far-fetched idea.
Yeah.
That's the specific reason.
It's more of a-
not the physics problems behind it. It's the nuclear weapons that would take it down. Unless you have a force field.
That would be nice.
It would be pretty
Are
sick.
you planning on getting one of those?
If I could find one. If anyone out there has a force field for a reasonable price that can protect a castle that I totally don't have.
First the
Yeah.
X-ray glasses, now the force field in this castle in
Exactly.
the sky.
Yes.
No,
Force
that's
field.
cool. That's yeah. You and I, we've talked off podcast about this, but I'm gonna bring it up
Oh
in
no!
podcast.
Here's where it comes.
Yeah.
I did not say that. I swear.
That's what
He
she
made
said.
that up.
That's also what she said.
Oh jeez, yeah, you got some pretty interesting stories with your relationships there, buddy.
Cut. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
So you get for dating Scorpios.
Yeah.
You're like toxic women just like I do. Like, oh, she's really hot, but she's gonna ruin my life. Fucking right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Here's my credit card.
It'll
and
happen.
Move on in. What? You want your name on the deed and you're not paying for it? Why not? Prenup? Nah, my lawyer said to get that. Nah.
Oh my god, you're gonna make me cry, bro.
Why? Too many memories?
Yeah.
This is getting too real for you. Why you gotta call
Flashback
it as it
City.
is? You just named all of the things that women have done to me in the last 30 seconds.
Serious note. Wing walking.
Yes, that was a very interesting story too.
This is a topic change for sure.
Yes.
We'll dive back into that last one.
We'll go back and dive deep into your sex life very soon so that everyone knows just how freaky you are. I saw that 3-inch wide, not long, wide glass dildo on the counter.
There
And
you
I
go.
know that you live here alone.
It's
Didn't you break up with your girlfriend a few months ago too? Yeah, that's definitely yours, bro. Unless you're saving it. Like that one girl I was hanging with and she found in a box in her closet. Legit a fucking box full of dildos from her fucking boyfriend's ex-girlfriend.
what?
Can you imagine finding your boyfriend holding a bunch of dildos from your fucking ex?
No, I don't even want to
ex-fucking
think
girl-
about that, bro.
What the fuck?
I want to go back to the wing walking.
She's fucking sitting there like sniffing that shit in the closet while she's like not home. Like, what the fuck? You're sleeping with a girl, but you're still sniffing dildos. Fucking probably sniffs the seats at Guitar Center after people fucking sit up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mystery musician of the north.
Mystery that I haven't been canceled. So yeah, swing walking. That was something I don't recommend because it's extremely sketchy and dangerous, but it's also not many people have died from it. So it's not too bad, but as a disclaimer, I'm not telling you to do it because I don't want to get sued for my bad ideas.
Listen up close.
So don't do it unless you do it. It's not my fault. You chose this.
Fun though?
It is. So basically from the beginning to the end, here's how it happened. So I grew up absolutely terrified of heights. Like I hated heights. Like I'd be on a 6-foot ladder, like I feel like I have left the solar system.
What about climbing trees as a kid? You never.
Well, I did that, but like it's different when you're in a tree versus like something that's like you didn't purposely climb for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to think of an example of something like a house.
I've been on roofs of houses too, and it was always kind of sketchy too. Like, you gotta climb over
Those
the
are
edge up, you don't
sketchy.
like fall backwards. Like, I didn't like heights. Like roller coasters scared me. Like being on like platforms with no edges always scared me. It was like anything like high. Like
Right.
if you like look down, you're like, oh, I don't. It's not exactly the falling part that scares me, but the hitting the ground.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's like
of
it's
course.
like the sudden stop at the end. I don't really like that idea. You know what I mean? And just knowing that you're falling towards that is not exactly comforting.
Yeah, no.
So I decided the best thing I can do is go on the fastest roller coaster in the mall to kind of prepare for this stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna face some of my fears. So I go ride the roller coaster. I was always scared as a kid. Okay, it's not so bad, and just kind of sitting there, just chilling. Okay, I'm like, okay. Now I'm like watching like this show is like called Stunt Science or whatever. I'm like stoned out of my mind, just like chilling or whatever. See this guy like riding on an airplane wing or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I look on my phone, like, what is wing walking? I see this like thing in the UK. I'm like, oh, there's a place in the UK that does it. I'm like, oh, there's a place just outside Seattle that does it. The wing walking school. I'm like, I'm gonna email them randomly while I'm high because there's nothing bad can come out of that. So they respond. I book a date. And I'm like, well, I'm terrified of heights, and I already told them I'm gonna come. And like, only told like one of my friends I'm doing it. She's like, yeah, sure, whatever. You know, no one believes you when you say that kind of shit. You know,
Right.
I'm gonna do this. So I'm like, okay, well, how am I gonna prepare for this? So I go and find some random stranger and get strapped to him and jump out of an airplane, do some skydiving or whatever. Extremely ethereal. You're like falling through the air, like, oh my, just to flip out of a plane with a stranger who was saying that he never parachuted before, but he actually did. He was just joking. He was
Oh,
really
okay,
freaking
nice.
funny. This guy's like done like 500 plus jumps, but he's like, oh, it's my first day. I'm like, you are the perfect person for me. I love this decision. I don't regret this
Nice.
at all.
Nice. Respect,
Yeah.
dude.
So I did that. I felt like really nice. I'm like slow motion, like flying through the air, looking at the cloud. I'm like, wow, this is really amazing. And then he pulls the chute. He's like, my balls hurt. You know what I'm saying? He's just all of a sudden that thing's
Was
there.
that your first thought too? Was like,
You feel the freaking like, you ever like had like what the harness? It's like between your crotch, and you're going 250 kilometers an hour, and then you open a parachute to slow yourself down.
right.
It's like slamming on the brakes of the car without the seatbelt. You're gonna bounce out the dashboard.
Yeah, yeah.
Except the dashboard's your nuts, and there's the harness is you. Whereas I guess it'd be the other way around.
Yeah.
Whatever one makes sense, go with that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's basically that. So I did that. It was quite exhilarating. And then I decided, okay, you know what? I already got the date booked, so I like hopped in my car one day whenever it came up. Drive by myself from Edmonton all the way to Seattle, which is like a 16-hour drive or whatever. Just fuck it.
YOLO.
Wake up the next morning at like 3 in the morning, drive another few hours out to a place called Squim. A place called
Okay.
Mason Wing Walking out there. So they do wing walking over there. It's like basically the lake between Vancouver and Seattle, pretty much, that lake there.
Right.
They also do it now down in California as well, if you ever want.
Interesting.
Gotta go visit them down there.
No,
Maybe
dude.
do that one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. You fly. If you can get off the ground, we're good. The landing is the hard part. Yeah.
Shit, I don't know how to do this.
So I got to their hangar or whatever, and first thing I did was piss off the neighbor. You can tell this neighbor is just like annoyed, and it's happened so many times. I like pull up to their house. I'm like yelling at them. I was like, just made some wing walking, and they're like, no. It's the one over there,
Oh
and make
my
sure you tell
God.
them to tell people which hangar to go to, because it's like an airplane town. Like everyone has a hangar on airplanes.
Right,
So I'm like,
right.
which one to go to? And this
Yeah.
person's like, everyone comes to the wrong one for these guys. You can tell they're just it's like 5 in the morning. I'm like
Yeah,
yelling out my window,
yeah.
and I don't blame them. I'm an
I guess.
asshole for that, but I'm the one on the wrong spot who doesn't look at the house number before I pull up.
Tisk.
Not my fault I don't pay attention to where I'm going in another country driving by myself. Come on. No.
Tisk.
Yeah. So it gets kind of funny. So I finally found the place. I found the door. It says right on the door, Mason Wing Walking Academy. Oh, is that one? Duh. No shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna open the door, go in there. Open the door, it's like a house, and there's like people get ready and stuff. And they're like, oh, we weren't expecting you this early. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you're an hour early. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, Edmonton is an hour behind Vancouver. So I showed up an hour early.
Yeah.
I forgot about the time change. So I was like, okay, whatever. I gotta go sleep in the car, whatever. I
Nice.
barely had any
Directions
sleep.
and time. You're
Yeah,
perfect
yeah,
on those.
Perfect. Yeah, musician's good at timing. Yeah, just don't look at my click tracks. It's the reason we don't play with
Mine
click
either.
tracks.
Yeah, there you go. Bro.
Yeah, so I fucked everything up on the way there. So I'm like, okay, perfect. I'm perfect to do this. There's nothing else could go wrong. I've only fucked everything up before I even got in the door.
Yeah.
So I'm at this place that I found on the internet. All I've heard of them was the stuff I read that said something about an airplane doing wing walking and like a loop-de-loop or something. It didn't sound like it was too much. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And I've never seen this guy fly before. So I'm like, okay, nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
I actually didn't meet the pilot until basically, well, I met him for like 1 second, said hi to him, and then didn't know he was the pilot.
Wow.
Until he got in the cockpit. I'm like, oh, you were the pilot. I thought the
Nice.
lady that was showing me everything was the pilot.
That's seriously.
Yeah, seriously. So we were getting the hangar. They got these like 2 old biplanes. I don't even remember what color one was. I think it was a black one or a red one. They had a black one or a red one there. And like so basically like you gotta practice climbing on this stuff. And we had like whole 3 hours of training, so I'm professional by there.
Nice.
Yeah. So basically
Bro.
like awkwardly climbing through there. So it's like me, this other guy who was like kind of like maybe like mid-30s or whatever, and then there's this like other guy who was like 80, but he's like, this is like from the Vietnam War. It's like used to jump out of freaking airplanes while being shot at and shit. I'm like, well, this guy's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after all
doubt.
the training there, we got a lunch break there, and we're like, me and his name was Con. He went by Con Solo. He was a cool guy. Yo. He actually he climbed Kilimanjaro, and he did a TED talk, and he was like one of the extras in like the Batman movies. He always does like crazy stuff all the time. He's a
Really?
pretty interesting guy. Yeah.
Nice.
So he was a very nice guy or whatever. And we're like having lunch there, and we're like, man, this is whack. What are we doing or whatever? And he's like, it'll be fine or whatever. So we get to the point where like, okay, it's time to do it. There's the 3 of us all lined up. We got the plane started. We're about to go, and they're like, okay, so who's gonna go first? And then we're like, we'll just go oldest to youngest, I guess, or whatever. Yeah. So I had to be last. So I had to like hear about all the crazy shit that they went through. So the older guy, he went up first, and he couldn't get on the top wing there because of his flexibility or whatever. So he only did the lower wing there, which is where you step on these tiny little dots about that size there. And if
Okay.
you don't step on that dot, you will rip the wing because it is made of vinyl. So, you know, like your backdrop for your band? Yeah, that's what the plane's made of. So if you misstep, the whole plane goes down and you are screwed.
Jesus.
It's okay. You're about 4,000 feet in the air without a parachute, and you're stepping on tiny dots
YOLO.
with 100 kilometers an hour with the wind blowing on you.
That's crazy.
And you're 80 years old. And then what you do is you grab onto this little, it looks like kind of like the Harry Potter broom there. It's like, they call it the javelin there. And you let it holding onto it. You wrap your legs around it there. You just hold it onto it there. And you have a small like waistband there, but like you kind of feel like if you fall off, you're kind of still hanging off an airplane 4,000 feet in the air. How you gonna climb back up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't want to think about falling off, but like, you know, it's kind of in the back of your mind.
Totally.
Yeah. So yeah. Another thing they said too, when you get up to the top part, this part was very, 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 very good advice. Like when you climb to the top part, make sure you lean backwards, because if you lean forward, you will fall into the propeller, which will cause malfunction of the propeller and bloody mess.
Yeah. Bloody mess.
Yeah, it's okay. The pilot will be fine until the plane hits the ground.
Yeah.
Uncontrollably. So yeah, there's a few
Yikes.
ways that you can mess this up, but as long as you don't step on the fabric and you don't lean forward, you're okay.
You're good.
But yeah, so that's kind of
I'm taking notes.
the theme. Yeah. So yeah, the first guy went. He was pretty cool. We're like watching. You like barely see this little squint of an airplane there. It's like flying around. It doesn't look that bad. But when he comes back down, he's like, it was pretty intense. I'm like, okay, yeah, I feel that. Yeah, it's probably pretty intense.
Yeah.
Then Con Solo goes up, and he does both. He goes to the top wing there, comes down, then climbs back on the bottom wing there, comes back there, does the whole thing there, comes down. He's like, yo, it's okay. You gotta be real careful, man. I almost freaking broke my arm. I'm like, whoa, what happened? He's like, okay, so like, when you're wing walking, there's like these 2 handles on the seat. So basically, unbuckle yourself, you climb up on the seat, you gotta like put your foot up on the seat, put your foot up on these handles there. When he went to stand up, he didn't realize how powerful the wind was, because you're going like 100 kilometers an hour, because like an airplane's gotta go fast enough to still fly.
Yeah.
So he went to reach up, and his arm went. He had like a cast the next day because he dislocated his shoulder.
Really?
He still did the whole wing walk.
Badass.
Yeah. When you're already up there,
I was gonna say, in
finish
the
what you
moment,
started there,
yeah,
but the adrenaline probably hit him, and just, I don't feel the pain until I'm down here, and my arm feels like it's kind of slightly dislocated.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, that's very, very good advice. Remember, the wind is very strong up there. So I'm like, okay. So I after that, I finally get to the point where I'm getting at the cockpit. Mike was the pilot. He gets it started, whatever. You fuel it up. You sit in the cockpit. You're just like, yeah, what am I doing? And then it starts flying. You take off. You feel it slowly like get up in the air there. You're like starting to get pretty intense there. I still got a good amount.
I'm gonna top you up.
I might as well. Yeah, you can never have too much unless you're the bartender that tells me I had too much. But then you tip them enough, and they will give you more.
You keep telling me that story, bro.
It's because it works. PSA. Yeah.
So anyway, so you're up at the top.
Yeah, so we're getting to the point. We got up to like the 4,000 feet there. We don't have the headphones or whatever because you're supposed to be climbing around the plane on the wires and shit there. So you have to use like hand signals and stuff. So basically, he's like, when you hear the plane tilt randomly, which scares the shit out of you because you're just sitting there just chilling, thinking about, man, I don't know, what am I doing? I'm afraid of heights and I'm doing this. And then the plane goes, and you're just like, whoa. Wake up, you look in this tiny little mirror, and there's a little mic in the back. He's like, you gonna do it? You gonna do it? And I'm like, I guess I might as well. I didn't even think about it. I just like unbuckled my seatbelt, went through the process, climb up there. I kind of like forgot how to do it for a second. Like when I stood up, it was so like your face is all the wind. Like, you know when you stick your hand out the window on the highway? Imagine that, but your whole body. It was like your face, like,
right.
Like go down the highway, stick your head out the window. Don't do it. It's dangerous. But that's what it would feel like. Gotta cover my ass. I've watched enough lawyer videos on YouTube.
Yeah, no, you did the right thing.
Yeah,
cheers
so,
on that, by the way.
Don't listen to me. I'm a professional idiot.
That's why we have them here.
Yeah, you can learn what not to do by watching me. So yeah, so I basically did that. Kind of like, I remembered in the back of my head, I was kind of proud of myself because like, I remember Miss Mason. She said that lots of people will like stand up there and feel the wind, and then they'll kind of go into like panic mode with adrenaline hits, and they're like kind of hold on for their life. Like, oh shit, I didn't do that. I just kind of like went to climb up there, got half up there. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely doing this wrong. I felt like awkward. I'm like, this does not feel right at all. I'm like, I don't know, I can't move my leg. So I went back down. I redid it. I got the second time. I got back up there, but I'm like leaning back awkwardly, trying to like strap myself to this thin post where you're like getting through the wire, and then you're like, not really. All you have is like these like little footholds that look kind of like flip flops. But like you slide your foot in, you don't strap your foot in at all. It just slides in. The only
like
thing
a sandal.
Yeah,
like it's just like
an open-ended sandal. Like you don't strap it in at all. You just put your foot in.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then you have a seatbelt that you're trying to put on while you're 4,000 feet in the air with all that wind blowing on you. And I'm like tugging on this thing, like better be. I gotta make sure I put this on right. Like I know how to put on a seatbelt, but like this time it matters.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? I'm not just getting a ticket if this doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like this thing's about to turn upside down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Holy.
So I'm like reefing on this thing. Okay, if I can't break this, I'm good. And she told me like, don't worry, it's safe enough. You don't have to hold on to anything at all. I'm like, okay, that's at least relieving. And I'm like, okay, give the hand signal. Instantly, this motherfucker puts the plane into a barrel roll. Like, it's like, fuck, we're going 100 kilometers an hour. It's like barrel roll upside down, goes straight up into a hammerhead where you go up, it basically stalls and like goes straight down.
Yo!
And he like starts doing like all this stuff, just like loop-de-loops. And we're going like 250 kilometers an hour out of nowhere. The wind's just like in your face, like blowing off. If you go on my YouTube channel, there's a full point of view video of that, plus the Siren Song music video that I used it for there.
Nice.
So yeah, it's just like, she's like, oh, you don't have to hold on, but you're holding on for your life because you feel like you're about to freaking die. It's the most intense shit ever. It's like a roller coaster without the tracks at 4,000 feet in the air with someone you've never seen fly before.
Yeah.
Go upside down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, in a 1930s airplane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So how did this end?
Very well, actually. So basically, we did that whole routine there. You climb back down, then you do the sketchy walk onto the other wing after. When at that point, my hands are like so cold because you're like 4,000 feet in the air with all the wing. Like, felt like when you stick your hands in the snow, like ice cold, could barely move them and stuff. Like, bad.
Tingly.
Yeah, not even tingly. Just like I don't feel anything and can't move them. It was like cold. Like I was wearing a sleeveless shirt and zebra pants. You know what I'm saying? And like goggles. And my hair was tied back. That's about it. You know what I mean? That's base. I should have been naked pretty much.
Yeah.
No protection.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So basically did that. Got back down there. I'm like, yeah, well, that was very relaxing. Yeah, no, I had to like stretch my face back into the right position there. If you watch the video of me in the Siren Song, but you can like see my face like flopping around, like when you like see those slow motion videos of someone getting slapped, it's like that, but just constant.
So why the wing walking? I assume this was to conquer a fear.
It was definitely to conquer fear, but it's also just like impulsive randomness. I don't know. I just kind of did it.
Nice.
I just kind of saw it, and I'm like, well, why not?
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
Nice.
But like my friend didn't believe me. I'm like, I'm going to Seattle. I'm gonna go do it. And she's like, yeah, sure you are. And then like the next day, I sent her a picture. She's like, what the fuck? You were serious?
Yeah.
And I showed my family, my grandfather, like, sat in the back. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I just showed you. That.
That's what I wanted to do. I went and did it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wouldn't recommend it, but, you know, it's a ride.
So what else did you do while you were down there?
I saw a big wall of gum. There's like in
Interesting.
Seattle, there's like the gum wall or whatever. It's the most disgusting tourist attraction ever. It's literally you walk there,
Staying
you
away
have
from
gum,
that.
you just stick it on there.
Oh.
I saw that just before COVID. I wonder if it's still there.
Yeah, I'll
It's like
let
part
you
of
know.
the Pike Place Market or whatever there is, like where they sell all the food and stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll let you know when I'm down there. You were telling me to go
Oh yeah,
visit.
you're going down there. Yeah, okay. You go to Seattle, you gotta go see the freaking pop culture museum for sure, because they got like the Jimi Hendrix. They have like the big SSL, I think it is, like he was recording with the big mixer and stuff there, and they had like the Woodstock guitar there, the Strat he used.
They have
there.
it there.
Yeah, and they also have
Nice.
like guitars from like Chris Cornell and like all the Foo Fighters stuff, the drum
Cool.
set from Foo Fighters, a bunch of Nirvana stuff there. They have like Smash guitar from Pearl Jam. Like they have like a horror, like a bunch of like horror stuff from a bunch of movies and stuff. There's lots of stuff from Seattle there.
Nice.
They got like a huge guitar like monument that you'd have to see to like explain as like probably like 400 guitars like put together into this giant like 2-floor tall sculpture. Like it's pretty cool. There's like
Interesting.
that, and there's like a glass place next to it there with this like cool like glass artist there. Was like looks almost like Dr. Seuss in glass,
Yeah. Wow.
like kind of like neon kind of like glass looking all hand blown stuff from this artist.
Well, thank you for sharing that story, good
Yeah,
sir. I
that's
appreciate
my
that.
life.
Yeah, that's wing walking. That's a topic and a half, and now I know all about it.
Yeah.
Thank you for saving to tell me about it on the podcast. I actually appreciate that. That's awesome.
Fair. Yeah, it's definitely a interesting experience.
No doubt, no doubt.
Definitely feel like I conquered a mountain with that, because like I was a kid who couldn't even go on a roller coaster and doing that. I'm like,
right.
well, now what am I supposed to be scared of? I'm like, yes, knives. People with knives and guns.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
That's what scares me now. It's
Yeah.
like that and losing people you care about. Other than that, nothing really scares me anymore.
Yeah.
Because you kind of been there, done it, but like someone with a knife that's threatening you, it's always scary.
Yeah, that is kind of freaky.
Not that I would know.
You've been in enough fights that like I don't need to remind the audience
Yeah.
that, you know, I may or may not have had to done some editing on the last photo shoot we did.
Yeah, the live show, I had a freaking black eye there. Yeah,
Yeah, like what happened? You know what? Just tell me after. I don't even need to know right now.
yeah,
I'll
that
edit
only
it.
involved some guy in a truck chasing me who was really mad and then fighting
Oh,
me after.
There you go.
Yeah, it
Fun.
was only at 3 a.m.
Which is wild because this is my next one I want to jump into. You did this awesome thing, man. I am so happy about it. You posted yourself out there as the mystery musician of the North, and that you're willing to help anyone that can't get lessons to do it for free.
Yeah.
How's that been coming along for you?
It's kind of interesting. So I have like one lined up for next week there. She kind of keeps on delaying it there. But like lots of people are like, what are you trying to get out of this? I'm like, I'm just trying to help the community for once instead of being
Yeah.
a piece of shit. And like lots of people like they'll like go for it and then they'll like just like bail last minute, which kind of works out because then they feel good because I tried to help, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I didn't have to. But it's like
Yeah.
I still kind of wish that you would have followed through so I could have at least done something for someone. But like that
That's
offer's
fair.
still out there. If anyone messages me through my page or Instagram there, I'll give you a free like Zoom lesson there or whatever. You learn
Great
some
guitar player.
stuff,
Oh my
some
goodness.
vocals, some bass.
So what got you hooked on that idea? You wanted to give back to the community a little bit?
It's one of those things like I feel like it's just everyone should kind of do something there. Like you should do something to like be less selfish, I guess. But it's also another thing too. As a musician, you should be going out there and helping the community and working with the community. Like, how are you supposed to go play a show and expect people to come if you're not going out there and like put yourself out in the community? You know what I mean?
Totally.
So it's like you kind of realize that like you got to be a part of the community for them to respect you.
Yes,
like,
and for it to grow.
yeah, exactly. Like, you can't just put on shows and expect people to come pay for it. Like, you got to make sure that they understand that you respect them and that you want to be there for them and inspire them, and that you're not just doing it for the money. You actually want to be a part of the community and like build the community and support the community in a way. You know what I mean? It's like when people come to your show, it's supposed to be an escape from reality and stuff. And when you're out there helping them in the community, it's like, hey, I'm here helping you. It's like, if you ever want to come out, there's a place you can come and feel safe and like rock out. If not, whatever, I'm here to help you anyways. You know what I mean? Like, it's about looking at the bigger picture and realizing that there's not just you out there.
Yes.
It's like everyone gets so lost in their own goals and their own self that they forget that you're a part of this bigger picture that you guys all got to work together. So
Hell yeah.
some
That's
of that
dope, dude.
cheesy ass shit.
No,
but,
I love
it's kind
that
of the
stuff,
thought process
dude.
behind it there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well
Yeah.
said. Well put, dude. I really appreciate that about you.
I'm an asshole sometimes, but I try to do good to make up for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. A little bit of yin and yang. You got to be a little good, a little evil, you know.
Yeah.
It's all in the
Coming
name.
from Mr. Apureevil.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Oh man, that's awesome. I love that, dude. That's awesome. So I'm assuming that that offer is still on the table.
Yeah. If someone were to message me through my page or whatever, like Instagram, Facebook, or if you go on my website, there's an email you can go through there. I can do a Zoom lesson, or we can figure something out there.
Nice. Hell yeah. Now I'm gonna dive a little bit into your music. Future releases. You got something on the go?
Yeah. So currently I'm working on I got to get the Enlightened Journey album out on streaming. I only had the physical copy released there, but I want to get the Wanted album out started too. So I'm going to get the Enlightened Journey out for streaming there. Slowly work on releasing the Wanted album, which is kind of like more classic rock kind of vibe while still having that kind of like progressive, kind of like EDM-y kind of vibe in it there while still being a 3-piece live band. So it's got like kind of like, it's almost like the song I have, like The Times You Had, where it's like very like, I don't even know how to describe it. You'd have to like hear it to like understand it. But it's like classic rock, EDM, progressive rock kind of vibes, but live guitar, live drums, live bass, live vocals.
Nice. Love
that kind of thing there. And then I'm slowly working on the next project, which would be the Dreamscape album, which is more like, it's got like very, very structured, very like next level kind of stuff I've been working on. Like one of the songs I was working on is like 220 beats per minute, 7-string, all 8th notes.
Whoa.
Where it's like,
I've
been working on that for the last month to try to get it up to the level of playability, and even now I'm only like 90%. Like it's not ready to record. Once I got it, it's gonna be good, but trying to sing over top of that's gonna be deranged.
Yeah.
So that's where it starts to get to like kind of like close to Animals Leaders there.
Yeah.
Like crazy technical riffs there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's like that and more dreamy kind of us. I guess like the more faster song, I got more of the kind of like Castle in the Sky is gonna be on that album there. It's gonna be very like dreamy, floaty, kind of like, it's called Dreamscapes, so you kind of like going through a dream. But like the solo in Castle of the Sky is like a 4-minute song, but it's got a 5-minute solo after there.
Right.
So it's like the technicality of it's kind of like more evolved, I guess, more like matured, I guess. Or my oldest stuff was more like, I don't know, it's just different in a way while still staying true to the older stuff, like being more like understandable while still having the technicality and more. It's one of those things you kind of have to hear it to understand.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
It's like different than my stuff, but still relating back to the Soothsayer original album there.
And I mean, for those who are just listening to for the first time for this maybe episode in particular, you play like a psych rock, right? Psychedelic rock?
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. It's like dreamy, trance-inducing, kind of like, I'd say it's like, if you take like Jimi Hendrix and like Tool and like Iron Maiden, System of a Down. Some people compare me to the Foo Fighters, like that almost EDM kind of vibe to it with like the trance kind of like wubs to it there. Like all that kind of combined while being like a 3-piece band.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely something that I feel as soon as you've seen it live, you just appreciate it that much more. Like,
yeah.
You definitely get blown away. And the equipment you keep getting, man, your kit, I was like, your drum kit is amazing.
That's my first drum kit.
Yeah, no, that's sick. That's a great first drum kit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait till I get the LEDs in it.
Yeah, well, that's
that's gonna be
I'll
cool.
be around.
It'll be like a light show that you just have to hit it to set off. Don't have to time it or anything.
Yeah, no, that'll be sick.
Yeah.
I am definitely looking forward to that. That's
Yeah, I'm slowly starting to upgrade my stage show, but like for what I want, it's probably like $40,000 down the road. So I'm just slowly chipping away at that there.
It's so much.
I want to get like a cool LED floor that you can, like, it's like plexiglass, like infinity mirrors, but like that's like 10-20 grand just to get the floor.
Yeah,
but it's like it'll look really cool.
Is your next step the backing tracks and click track, or are you looking more into the theatrics?
It's hard to say because like I don't really need the click track until I get like a bunch of different lighting that I have programmed. But it's also one of those things too. I kind of want to experiment with having like the lights triggered by like the drum set being like have like a piezo trigger in the drum set maybe, and just have that set off stuff on stage. Throw a microphone that's set up to a certain channel, it'll set off a certain light or something like that for the guitar and bass, and then like maybe have something going through
Right.
vocal mix there, and then have like in-ears so I can actually hear what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes the sound guy can't turn the monitor up high enough because the drum is too loud in the smaller room there.
I was just gonna say, I don't know. Are you wearing anything when you're doing it too, or no?
I go raw.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
That's why I need to get the in-ears so I can protect my hearing phones.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I find like singing with the headphones and kind of messes with me sometimes.
Just throw one out. I do that when I do backups.
What's the point?
But
just switch it halfway through the song. But then you can blow one ear halfway.
But then you can have the click at least going for one ear, and then you can hear yourself, and you're not so tone.
Okay, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, it sounds funny, but it works, dude. I'm telling you.
It sounds totally sane. Yeah.
What? I'm trying to think of a Justin Timberlake song. What's a Justin Timberlake song? I'm bringing sexy back. He's just got one headphone in. Yeah, dude, he's killing it.
Just like the DJ who's pretending he's doing stuff. I would I'd be the best DJ ever. Everyone would think I'm amazing because they're all just fucked on Molly and shit and acid. But really, I just had like some like full on freaking like 1 hour set list just playing through there. I was just like freaking pushing buttons because it's ADHD. Like, what are you doing? Stop pretending you're dancing. Yeah, just gotta get a funny animal head there, and all of a sudden you're a legend. Yeah.
Hey,
don't get me wrong, EDM they do cool edits, but live they don't do anything.
It's there's definitely a different perspective for when it goes in from the production, and into the live.
They put a lot more into the mix, but when they go live, it's kind of just press and play. But it is always funny when you're at like an EDM show and like the guy fucks up the mix between the two songs, and you just watch the whole crowd leave from that stage to the next stage there because like it just like takes them out of their trance and they're all high like fuck this shit, and they just like walk away, and it goes from like 4,000 people in front to like no one. They're all on the other side of the stage.
But some of them, I'll give them two things right now. The one is the energy. A lot of them will like vibe with the crowd, and then two, hire dancers or performers, fire acts.
You just like the strippers. You just want the go-go dancers.
You know what? Hey, I would be lying if I said I didn't.
Sounds like you went to a rave and you were high on Molly and you were looking at the dancers' tits and looking at all the fancy lights. Like, look, he's spinning his hand. It's got an LED on his hand. It's a magic wand.
I have never done that. I've never done that.
I have.
I kind of figured.
I've been to many raves in my years. It's not really my style of music, but it's a good time.
Yeah, it is a good time. You know what? I like raves.
The one place where you can go hug a stranger for no reason and they will hug you back. Do that at chapters and they wonder who the fuck you are. I'm
assuming you have experience. Yeah. I was gonna say.
I'm the reason they changed it from chapters to indigo.
Bro, you're too much sometimes. You're too much.
I come in, they tell me to go.
That is so fucking funny. Oh my god.
I can't even read.
Yeah.
I was there for the MILFs.
Oh man. Fuck.
Yeah, it's my life.
You're killing it, dude. You're killing it. Do you we're getting pretty close here on time, but do you have any
plans?
That's
what she said.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, don't worry, I can come in 3 seconds if you want. That's all it takes. I was trying really hard for you, babe.
Yeah, you heard it here. 3 seconds.
Yeah, it can last 3 minutes, it can last 3 hours, or 3 seconds. Depends how much time we have. As long as I finish, I'm happy.
Yo, dude. I say this stupid thing at work all the time. It's like, as long as I get off, but I'm just like, look, it's just something stupid to say, okay? But it's funny. It's such an ignorant thing to say, though.
Fair. Fuck yeah.
Okay, so, what am I getting to here? I'm getting distracted by this stupid stuff. This
like I'm distracting somehow. I'm not very distracting. I'm just what's that over there?
Yeah, exactly. Paper bag. Future plans for shows like touring. You have anything for tours coming up?
One of those things like tours are kind of hard to plan because you gotta like make sure you go to the right place at the right time with the right marketing. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of in the middle zone right now. I'm gonna be working on a Fire music video coming next for Playing with Fire there. Right. One of that song that you had the video there from the last show there. Yeah. And once I release the song, I'll probably release that live video there. I was like, I kind of wanted to throw it out there. I'm like, I'll wait until the song comes out there so that when people watch it, they'll watch the video or whatever. Right. The video is gonna be a lot more intense though because there's gonna be some fire breathers and it's gonna be pretty freaking gnarly. Yeah. I'm literally playing with fire.
Yeah, you got some cool people. I kind of want to
figure that out there. And then I'm going to market it very well, and then I'm going to see where it picks up the most, and that's where I'm going to aim to play.
Right, because it sounds like you got some cool people you're going to be working with here.
Yeah, so I got basically there's 2 fire breathers I'm talking to, and then there's a few girls that'll be dancing for the video if it
Nice.
works out properly there.
Nice.
And then I'll be playing with fire.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
Just hope
yeah.
I don't burn myself.
Yeah. Please
I
don't.
was asking my buddy who's a firefighter. I was like, "Hey, you wanna come and supervise a music video there?" He's like, "What are you burning?"
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
"I'm not sure yet."
Yeah.
It
Come
will
find out.
Depend on the wind.
Come find out. Yeah,
Come
yeah,
find out,
exactly.
Could be me. Could be someone else. Could be a field full of grass. I don't know.
That is
We're
so
gonna. That's why
fucking
we need you to make sure we don't do anything stupid, because it's me.
It could happen. It could
At least
happen.
I'm responsible. I talk to a firefighter first. He
You are
doesn't
so
trust me. He thinks I'm insane. He's kind of concerned. I'm like, don't worry. We won't tell the fire department your name. If shit goes out of control, it was me.
Yo, let's go.
You go out the back door, you drive away, you were never there.
I don't even have to.
I'm no rat.
He said it.
If I did it, I'll take the responsibility.
He
We're gonna be careful. Try
said
it at
it.
least, Shit happens.
Mystery musician of the North. Thank you so much for hopping on. I do appreciate it. You're always a vibe to hang out with.
And that is what she said. Exactly the last girl I saw.
Oh, yeah. Okay, before we get into that, that'll be after this podcast. Please drop some of your socials if you can remember them. So
If you just look up on Facebook, Doesn't Really Matter, and type into Google, the Mystery Musician of the North. If you forget that, just look up the mysterymusician.ca. Mysterymusician.ca. All of it works.
That's your website?
I own the website for Doesn'tReallyMatter.com. I own, I think, Doesn'tReallyMatter.ca, MysteryMusician.ca, MysteryMusicianOfTheNorth.com, and MysteryMusicianOfTheNorth.ca.
Okay.
So
I will
if you
see
just
how many of
Google
those.
Mystery of the Musician on Google of the North, you'll
Yeah.
find me.
Yeah.
It should be like the top one. If you find another Mystery Musician of the North, let me know. I'm gonna sue him. I don't care if you're a mystery musician, but if you're the one on the North, that's me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm
That's,
fine you. I'm gonna either sue you or I'm gonna show you.
Jesus.
I'll show you something. You're not gonna like it.
You're either gonna be thoroughly impressed or
Something I
Very
cannot,
disappointed.
I cannot describe on the record. Let's just say it might be a piece of paper or something bigger.
oh my god. Well, hey, definitely Mattern. Oh my
Dustin Lee
god.
Mountain, the mystery musician of the North. Sorry, I'm not as drunk as him. Well, maybe, but I actually handle my liquor. It is the drugs that help. But don't do drugs, kids. Those are illegal. And I respect the law. Signing out.
I know. Peace out, fam.